We should.
No
9:40.
fear.
I thought you said night 40. I was like, we have been here that long. Jesus.
Watch it!
New Year! Sorry. Welcome back. It is episode number 81, kicking off the brand new year for Hyperspace Hype. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 year closer to a long time ago. That doesn't make sense. We're getting farther. All right, that was a bad joke. Bad joke, as Evan was saying prior to us going live. The music's not loud enough. I'm losing my train of thought. Carson is here with us.
What are you telling me? What are you showing me here? Yeah, Bad Batch is back. Felt like a warm hug, and I'm excited to talk about it because it was fun. And I continually love this show and will defend it till the day I die. Thank you. End podcast.
Good night, everybody.
That's it. That's all I had to say.
But Evan's also here.
That was very impassioned. Yeah, I love this show. Great premiere. A lot to talk about. Good start to season 2. I'm so happy that we got these first 2 episodes back to back because it really felt like one whole complete arc, one whole complete episode. But yeah, there's a lot to talk about, so I'm excited.
It's good. That's great.
Wow.
No, I'm not Losh. I
Wow.
actually think these are complex characters.
Our audience
Thank you.
totally understands what you're talking about.
Well, if you ever feeling some heartbreak because of that man. Anywho, the Batch, they're back, and hey, so, if you want to have some fun with us and to watch along with some Bad Batch, we did the last 3 episodes of season 1 the other day. Did a little live stream there. If you want to watch along, sync up with the time code available over there. But we are here for the debut of the next season. Hopefully not the final. Who's to say where the story is moving forward? It was this felt more of like an reintroduction with the gang, even though there was a nice little tease set up at the end of episode 2. So, Evan, where are the Batch?
At the beginning of the episode?
What is my energy?
I like your energy. It's great. It's infectious.
It's annoying.
It's good. It's good. You're good.
War.
So, war. Heroes on both sides.
Villains everywhere.
Villains everywhere. I have no idea what planet they were on that beach.
It's
Was
the
it a plane?
It's the trailer planet.
It's a job, guys.
It's a job.
There's no planet.
No planet. Doesn't matter. It felt very. I put this in my notes as soon as I pull it up and scroll all the way up. It felt very Star Trek Into Darkness, or like just Star Trek in general, where they give you like your main cast of characters in the middle of a job.
Yeah.
Some could say Star
You have no
Trek
context, and then it's already in trouble type deal.
Exactly, which I really love. Star Wars does that, like in the comics sometimes. Star Trek does that. Indiana Jones does that a lot. Like it just like puts you into the action. I really love that. Guardians Volume 2. It's like boom, we're in the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
I was gonna say it, but you did too.
Okay.
What's that from? Is that
The Backyardigans.
Backyardigans? Never watched that.
I had to break out my encyclopedia brain.
Thank you. But yeah, really cool opening. I'm so happy that we got this scene that we saw at Celebration as like the first scene here, because a lot of the surprises in general from the trailers and from what we heard and saw at Celebration is in these first 2 episodes, which is so refreshing because most other Star Wars shows or like Disney Plus content's like this is from the finale, and granted the Palpatine thing could be from the finale as well.
Yeah, what in the hell?
But I'm glad that most of the trailer and most of the promotional material has been from these first 2 episodes, which gives us a lot of room for surprises and shock and awe in future episodes. But in general, I like the new designs. We get our first look at the new designs for our crew. They're not all wearing the same thing anymore. We have some different color designs.
Not red and black anymore.
Yeah, we're not all red and black. Like Hunter still has like his red bandana, still has that black attitude with him. Wrecker though has like some yellow highlights across his armor a little bit. Omega sporting some blue orangish designs.
I like her little hat that she has.
The new hat is really cool as well.
Like, oh, they need help.
Yeah.
Pop it on.
Yeah, it was very cool. And then I think Echo and Tech are pretty similar. I'll have to double check, but they've all gone under some kind of like cosmetic changes, which I really like.
Yeah. Also, shout out Echo. Echo got some time to shine.
Oh, Echo, big
in his
Echo
first
and
two
Tech episode. Yeah, I'm so happy.
Which I was happy about, and that like they just grew with Omega in a way, which I really appreciated. And like these costume changes, we have, as we suspected, a bit of an identity crisis on hand for multiple characters, and a group identity crisis of what should we do now that we are free of Camino, sort of thing. Or are they? This guy, this villain guy, he's not going anywhere. He's ruthless. That ending of episode 2 shocked
Rampart.
me. Rampart? Lieutenant? What is he?
Just
Corporal?
Just Rampart. Just Rampart. He has no identity. He's under Tarkin, so he's not a Moff. I don't know.
Yeah, he's... I don't know military rankings.
Well, Moff is a governor.
Is he a Moff but not a Grand Moff?
Yeah, I'm assuming he's just he's not. It's above commander.
Corporal. No, that's
let's say corporal. Let's say corporal.
Corporal.
That sounds cool.
Corporal Tree Bark. What the fuck is his name? I don't.
Rampart. Jeez.
Is he that wooden? Jesus.
I mean, he wishes he was on Andor. But yeah. Also, like we see Omega studying on the ship prior to her rescuing.
I love that.
That was really cool.
It's funny because we've seen like 8 iterations of the scene. Like I feel like it's in between trailers and Star Wars Celebration, because I think this is the first scene they showed us, right? And then it ends up being the first scene of the season. It's kind of crazy.
But yeah, I like that she's studying because it obviously foreshadows her helping Tech and Echo later on in episode 1.
Tick, Rika, Iku.
Tick.
Hunter.
Hunter.
So yeah, I pretty much said all I needed to say there. But yeah, overall, they rescue some random box, doesn't really matter, from the ocean planet that we don't know of. But they make their way back to Sid's. And who do we see first? The one.
New character.
The only.
No. BD.
AZ.
AZ, as he introduced himself, so you knew who he was.
I'm
Look,
so happy.
The kids gotta know. Parents, the Bad Batch. They gotta know that.
That's gonna be the new intro.
It's for that crowd.
Or it's gonna be like typing up Hyperspace. Parents, the Batch. Parents, Hyperspace hype.
That would be awesome.
Oh gosh.
I totally forgot.
It's a dangerous game we're playing.
Oh boy. Yeah, but like having definitely like rewatched the finale and recognizing how much work AZ put in to keep everybody alive in that finale, I'm so happy to see him with the crew. He's working for Sid. Hopefully he gets to go on a mission or two in season 2.
No, keep him safe.
Keep him safe. Keep him happy. Keep him serving drinks.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
But is he going to be free, Nathan? Serving drinks.
Maybe that's how he feels free.
Maybe, yeah. Somebody ask him.
It was my choice. I removed my chip.
AC removed his chip.
Fuck. He was like that all along.
He's on rogue.
What if he removes his chip and starts working for the Empire instead? Like
someone uploads a battle droid program in.
Oh gosh. But then we meet our new character, Fee. Don't know her last name. Did you guys immediately catch the voice actress here? I was totally surprised by this.
Absolutely, it was Wanda Sykes. I heard her in the trailer.
Who's Wanda Sykes?
Oh my god!
Google her, you'll know. One
Yeah,
of the
you do
3 Oscar hosts, I believe.
What?
The star of 2006 Over the Hedge. Holy shit!
Was she?
That's legitimately the 3rd movie that pops up for her
Are you
profile.
serious?
Evan Almighty star.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding. That's the 3rd movie. It's the Upshaws, Monster-in-Law, Over the Hedge.
She's the skunk in Over the Hedge.
Oh my god. We have a commentary over the hedge.
Oh,
I would love to.
All the DreamWorks.
All the DreamWorks.
I know Wanda Sykes. Now then.
What movie was trending the other day, last week? Not Over the Hedge. It's that mystery movie, that fairy tale mystery movie.
Oh.
Hoodwinked.
Hoodwinked. Oh, that's my shit. That's my shit.
Shitty ass man.
That movie rocks. Like, I watched that all the time growing up.
That was on Cartoon Network religiously.
It was, and I watched it religiously. I love that movie. That was great. But yeah, Wanda Sykes, I immediately recognized her name. She's also a recurring guest star on the best comedy of all time, Curb Your Enthusiasm. And she's amazing in that. Everybody watch Curb.
All 12 seasons.
All 12 seasons, I have. I mean, they're ridiculously easy to watch, and it's like 25 minutes per episode. HBO Max, guys, get it. So this is where things get interesting. So we meet Fee with her feet up on the table. And I'm immediately like, wait, does she own
She's running the show.
Now? So I wonder what her connection is with Sid, because she seems to have a more of a superior connection to her as she's explaining how, hey, your guys better be giving me a cut of the upcoming mission because, I gave you the tip. I gave you the tip, yeah. And then you can see her eyes, like Sid has like this like inferior look to her. She's like not cowering, but just like a little bit, just like I'll let her talk kind of attitude.
Yeah. Spill the beans of who the batch are.
Mm-hmm. It was weird. It had a very like weird Goldilocks sense to it. It's like, you're too big, you're too small. And I was like, what's going on?
You're too nerdy, but hot.
Yeah. What's up with you, brown eyes? I was like, what's going on here?
No, actually, we all.
I mean, Tech is definitely the most conventionally attractive.
Oh boy. Surprised she didn't go for Hunter. Most of the women like
Hunter is just Tamora Morrison. It's like, are you sure he's a bad? He's just kind of. I think he gave himself the tattoo.
What was I gonna say? Shit.
You tell me.
Yeah, I think that she like is sort of the up the ante season 2 access to bigger jobs type deal.
Oh,
this was a big job.
This was a big
and so
job. Yeah.
she, as the one, what's the main bar lady? Sid will not get phased out, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have a lot.
She says
No.
She called her a friend.
Yeah.
To some degree.
She said, "You got a friend in me."
Yeah.
Exactly, but it'll be interesting. I don't know how much she's going to be in the show. I don't remember seeing a ton of her in the trailers, but
that's the only scene I saw.
We saw her. Yeah, we saw.
Just in the same scene.
Everything else is going to be new footage.
Yeah. Let's go.
New character every episode.
Cameo.
But I like the ethical dilemma it raised right away with, damn, already like we could do this one job and we could be set up for life. What does that really mean? Echo wants to fight. Yeah, they're fighting with Hunter, and Hunter's being protective of Omega. All this is happening, and then I love how it plants the seeds for Omega feeling guilty, which we get this little 2-arc episode thing where she really feels like she needs to pull her weight and sort of impress everybody, and she sort of loses herself a little bit morally of what's important, and it all leads to episode 2, which I thought it was really well done. Now that Omega is it was about becoming part of the family in the first one. Now she's part of the family, but now there's all these things happening.
Exactly. It's very interesting. She goes on a very interesting arc here. Her character was kind of not passive in season 1, not at all. But she was kind of like the object that needed protecting. She went through her own changes of like identity and being like, hey, I was like one of you guys, or she was older than them. So she saw them be born, and she always wanted to be part of them. And season 1 was her having this experience of a lifetime, actually being with the family, but it was all filled with a lot of chaos. People were always constantly after her.
She brought the best out of the batch.
She did. I'll get into that in a second too. And she like grew in a way that was fraught with like danger in season 1. She was constantly getting tracked by Cad Bane, by Fennec, by the Imperials, by Kaminoans, by a lot of people. But now they're free. At the end of Camino, everybody thinks they're dead. So they're free in a sense. So what does she like have to fight for in a sense? And I guess she's feeling guilty. I will get into in terms of her whole position in all this, given what happened to her throughout season 1. But in general, I want to dive into this because they get a mission to go to Sereno, which of course is Count Dooku's homeworld.
Which is fucking rad, by the way. For
really awesome.
Fans of Jedi Lost got a lot of enrichment out of this episode.
For sure. I mean, Jedi Lost and Tales of the Jedi. We just watched a whole 3-episode arc of Dooku last October, which gave us a lot more insight into his perspective and his characterization during the time before and during the prequels. But yeah, so this is very interesting, and this has tons of connections to Andor, because my brother and I were immediately like pausing it, like, oh, this is Cassian's dilemma during season 1, during his growth of becoming a passive player who actually becoming a revolutionary. And we kind of get that with the Bad Batch here. Look at the right notes for a second. So they go to Sereno, or they want to have this job in Sereno, but not Hunter. Hunter wants to. He's kind of like Andor. He doesn't want to stay. He doesn't want to go to Sereno. He wants to stay away because he wants to stay away from the Imperials, and B, he wants to keep Omega safe. It's like, we're doing good right now. Let's just keep ourselves safe, away from the eyes of the Empire. Basically, like, they think we're dead, so we should stay away. While one scene later, he realizes he's outvoted because they want to go and do their thing. And Sid explains it in a sense that if they can take even a bit of the spoils from the war, they're going to be set up for a life. They're going to be able to be free. But then Hunter refutes and says, like, we're already free. Basically, because, like I just said, they're free because they escaped the Empire in season 1. They all think they're dead. Basically, it's not what he says, but kind of what's intended. But Sid refutes. He says the Empire is growing. There's not going to be a place to hide. Sooner or later, they're going to come to her operation. And once her operation is over, that means their jobs of working for Sid is going to come to an end. And how else are they going to fund their new livelihood that they want to be with right now?
Basically, move now while you can. Otherwise, it's gonna bite us in the ass later, no matter which way you feel about it.
Exactly. Like, it's so interesting because again, this ties so into what we discussed nearly every episode for Andor, in terms of like, you can't run away. And we had this discussion in episode 7 of Andor when he's having this discussion with Marva. Andor and Marva are talking, and Marva's like, they're coming. Like, the Empire is growing. I'm tired of sleeping. I'm tired of walking away. I need to be able to walk down Ferrick's road, do what I feel like I need to do, regardless of the implications, because it's my sense of freedom. My freedom gives me the ability to do what I want, what I need to do. And she can continue loving Andor at the same time. And what's so similar here is that Hunter, he wants that freedom because of his love for Omega. They've all had this love for Omega. But Hunter is saying, like... Yeah,
Hunter feels responsible, ultimately.
He feels super responsible. So he's like, I want to detach myself from the cause because of my love for Omega. Well, it should be, we should be fighting with the cause because of our love for Omega, not stepping away. So I think that might be an interesting arc for Hunter to take part in. I'm so glad that they gave it, though, to Echo this week. Echo is kind of like the voice of reason and the voice of change here in this episode too, because he initially also wanted the money as well, but later on, of course, he says let go. So
I love The Last Crusade.
Me too. It was very much Last Crusade. Is Indiana Jones? I mean, it's in our commentary list. It has to be. We kind of mentioned that in our what should we watch this year kind of thing. But
did I list anything explicitly?
no, we talked about like Evil Dead. What did we talk about?
Evil Dead, John Wick,
Mission Impossible,
Saw.
and Saw. Yeah. But we didn't mention Indiana Jones, which is coming out with Dial of Destiny. So many movies, fuck. But
double up.
I have to double up this summer, baby. Hopefully, it's not too many movie news this summer. But
Breaking.
yeah, we'll see.
Every Secret War article.
James Gunn is like, hold my beer. So we'll see. So yeah, so it's very interesting.
Surfers in Guardians 3.
Oh god. But yeah, so it's so very interesting for Hunter, for Omega, and for the Bad Batch in general in terms of like they are free, but what do they have to do with this freedom? Are they going to join the fight? Are they going to step away from the fight? How should they go about with this whole money scenario? And yeah, it's so interesting because Echo feels like they need the money in order to join the fight. They can do more than just hiding. And he says to Hunter that like our lives are like this in terms of like hiding and being away from the Empire because of Omega. And then I'll pause there because that's when Omega kind of like listens in on the conversation. And this is, by the way, for the viewers, like this is when they're already on their way to the Sereno. So it's happening. But Echo like checks to see if Omega's like behind the curtain in a room, and she is. And then he goes talks to Hunter, and he's like, "Okay, so we should be doing this mission, but not for the reason that you think we're doing it. Like Hunter's doing it because like, hey, we can get this money and step away. Echo's trying to tell him like, hey, we should do this money and join the cause." And then they kind of step away from Omega, and
right.
He says, and that's important because I think Omega only hears that like our lives are like this because of Omega. Omega hears that, and,
yeah,
like,
she doesn't get the
full
picture.
Which I love that cliche, by the way, not a bad cliche. And Omega's kind of like, oh damn, like they're hiding, they're living this awful on the run life because of me.
Yeah, if I can personally get on this mission, I can free their burden.
Yeah. Guilt of the burden, classic. And yeah, it's pretty much it's a good YA classic, like for adolescents.
Yeah.
This happens in, spoiler alert, The Last of Us, where Ellie also feels guilty for like Joel's new like, oh, I have to protect this person. Maybe like the younger person always feel like they're a burden, so they have to do more than what is necessary to feel like they're not much of a burden anymore, even though they weren't a burden in the first place.
Was that the time when in the game when Ellie is like breaks away from Joel? Oh no, she broke away because like he was sick, right?
I'm thinking of like the hotel level where she's like, give me a gun for the first time, and he still kind of refuses to give her the gun, and then later on he's like, fine, can you hold a sniper rifle?
I feel like that's gonna be the scene of like, you have no idea what loss is. I feel like
you have no idea what loss is. No,
I'll enjoy our new podcast.
The scene where loss is the. I'm pretty sure that's the scene where the Tommy's house scene, where they're in the apartment. She asks about Sarah.
Has he been in a trailer?
Tommy? No, he hasn't. Like he's in all these
crazy.
He's in all these preview images. I think he's in like one shot when he's like driving the car, and you see Sarah like in the car, like what is going on? Chaos. Yeah, in the opening. Yeah. Joe, I called you 4 times. That kind of line. But anyways, Last of Us. We'll be reviewing that.
It's in like a week and a half. Not even. It's 10 days away.
I cannot fucking wait.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so it's very interesting. Again, so much depth already in the first like 15 minutes of the Bad Batch. Love this show so much.
Yep.
But yeah,
we get going on this. I always love how they have to park their damn ship like 2 miles away.
Yeah.
Has anyone else ever noticed that? They had to walk. They're like, oh, just on the other side of the mountain range. I'm like, yo, that's
that
kind of
on the
far.
last mountain.
They check like 5 miles just to get to their mission. I mean, better safe than sorry, right?
But gosh, this whole setup was so cool because these like when they say war chest, I'm thinking like, oh, like it'll just be like sort of a pile in the corner.
Damn.
No, motherfucker has plundered as much as Smog.
Dude, I had big Smog energy too. I was like, what is this? Battle,
oh, God.
What is it called? Desolation of Smog. Yeah, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Mm-hmm.
Because again,
Where's the Arkenstone?
I was thinking, they're gonna go to Sereno and it's like this cave and they have to find it, but like there's like trucks cargo upon cargo. Like this felt very much like the end of another Indiana Jones reference, the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where like a huge not factory, but shelving place where like the Ark of the Covenant's in, and
They open up the first crate, just fucking bars of gold. Second crate, gems.
it's tons.
Yeah, any one of those is worth like millions. I'm like, holy shit.
Exactly.
And man only bought one cape.
like all you really needed was like, I think they only tried to take like 2 of those. They tried to take more.
Yeah, like
obviously,
Wrecker took. I think Wrecker took the initial like gold bar one, and they were lugging around the gem one. They had to leave it amidst like running through the blaster fire.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
But yeah, we also get some interesting lines here. Like as they're pillaging, they say Dooku was like corrupt. Like Dooku was corrupt. This is how he was able to get all this money, pillaging all these worlds, like blaming Dooku for a lot of this. And it just brought me back to like the tragedy of Dooku. Because
it was funny. Like Echo is just so like heavy-handed, like he's the leader of the Separatist army. But then I'm just sitting here having like experienced him losing Qui-Gon like a few months ago, and I'm just like, you're right. But
you're so right, Nathan. Because like just hearing Echo, which is so cool, why Echo gets that one moment later on in episode 2 that we'll talk about with Romar. But yeah, Echo is really the guy who was like, oh yeah, even when they first got the mission, like that's Dooku's stronghold. Like that's the guy who betrayed the Republic. And now with the pillaging gold, she's like, yeah, he was a traitor and he pillaged all these stuff from all these different worlds and all this stuff. And like this is how he successfully funded the Separatists. Like he's very much like Dooku, some not mythological figure, but just like the epitome of darkness. But we're sitting here like having just watched Tales of the Jedi, having listened to Jedi Lost, like Dooku is such a much more of a sympathetic figure than he realizes, than most people realize. And it's so interesting because Dooku started off like wanting to fight corruption, right? Yeah. Like he brought away from the Republic, as we saw in Tales of the Jedi, because the senators were the ones that were corrupt. The senators were the ones that were pillaging those villages that we saw in like episode 2, I think, of Tales of the Jedi, where Dooku and Qui-Gon are in that like desolate farmland. They're like, oh yeah, they're stealing from us, they're taking from us. But then we see here in Bad Batch, Dooku is apparently stealing from other places as well. So that selfishness, that greed of like the dark side turns you down a dark path. Kind of crazy.
And his homeworld weren't very kind about him either.
Exactly, yeah, as we learned in episode 2, yeah, like he pillaged from his own world as well. And another interesting thing as they're pillaging all this gold is that Tech says they're going to use this gold for a greater purpose. Because Omega's like, if we're doing the same thing that Dooku was doing, what makes us different? And Tech's like, oh, well, we're going to be doing it for a different purpose than what he did it for.
Yeah, and then I love the contrast to the old guy later of like, that's blood money. Like, you're no matter what it does for you, doesn't make you fulfilled. Like you, and I love the whole metaphor with the freaking kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Where she's like, "That's it. Like, what? Like, is it worth something?"
Oh, it's glass.
It's like, no, fun, girl.
Fucking toy. Which in hindsight is just
no, it's really sad. It's sad. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, for play.
After everything she's been through, she's
play?
like,
yeah.
I mean, I was gonna still a soldier.
Yeah, I was gonna mention it, but we can mention it here. Like the whole kaleidoscope scene is so heartbreaking because she sees it and it's just like, oh, she doesn't see the worth in it, which is kind of sad because season 1, again, she was just running away. Like her childhood was kind of like taken away from her as like she was like this object of like, we gotta find her. But then like she doesn't have a chance to like actually be a child and actually like have some fun. We do get that great moment between her and Hera, which I loved in season 1, where her and Hera are just like chilling, vibing as kids.
Yeah, that was awesome.
During that awesome Ryloth arc. But most of the time, yeah, she didn't have a chance to like look at kaleidoscopes or play with a lot of toys or anything. Hopefully
think your mic got unplugged, Evan.
Yeah, I'll fix it in a second.
But yeah, this was like really emotional for me because I was like, damn. It makes you reflect back on, even though we only watched those last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the whole Omega, like just like meeting Omega for the first time and how just like innocently curious she was, and then smash cut to Kamino collapsing, her like, or even her in these first 2 episodes just like going to town, like jumping off the ship, fucking shooting the crab, knowing to like jump, like she's just like so different now, obviously in a good way, but also like you start to realize these different things of different perspectives that she hasn't had, and you know, being a sort of commoner, not a clone, is one of them that sort of gets introduced here.
Yeah, she's grown so much. I love it. But yeah, the action in this scene in the sequence was also phenomenal. Like I love like how tense and crazy everything quickly got. I forget the clones. Do you guys have the clone's name? The commander in this episode.
Gosh, what is his name?
I think I wrote it in my notes somewhere. Let me look for that real quick. But yeah, he was Wilco, Commander Wilco. Wilco.
Yeah, Rock.
He was great. I was so surprised because he was like calling the shot. So he immediately, as they're pillaging, Hunter realizes like we're taking too much time. They're going to quickly realize that we're here. So he does the whole detonate some ships, distraction, clones get injured, but they're fine.
Yeah,
the commander,
because Record knocked out one of the clones, and it's like, well, now if he doesn't fucking report an idiot.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
Wait, and then in my brain, I'm just sitting there like, you guys sound like him.
Yeah,
You want to hop on comms?
I literally thought the same thing. I'm like, hey,
At least Hunter.
Full of Han Solo be like, hey, yep, everything's fine here. We're all good.
That's what I they'll know. They'll know.
But
The
then
slight imperceptible difference.
But then I wondered, like, are those clones or are those actually people under that clone armor? Like, it's kind of hard to tell. But I think they all ended
Bradley to me.
Yeah, I think they all ended up being clones. So I was like, okay. But yeah, that's why I was kind of like, wait, maybe they couldn't just go on the mic because they were not clones. But they ended up being clones. So I'm like, what the heck? But either way, yeah, like the ships get blown up. And then the commander's like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, jettison the ship or put it into space.
Take off.
Which is really cool because it separates Echo, Tech, and Omega from Wrecker and Hunter, which I thought was very clever because Wrecker and Hunter were kind of like the 2 clones we got to know the most in season 1, and Tech and Omega, or Tech and Hunter, Tech and Echo were the ones that we didn't get to know the most in season 1. So I like that writers consciously separated the characters that we didn't get to know much of and put them on this different arc than the rest of the characters. Because pretty much all Echo or all Hunter and Wrecker did this episode was just run away and just be badass, which was great. I loved it. But Echo and Tech were really the ones that got the good, quiet moments together later on. But yeah, so
which is awesome because we had in season 1 we had a lot of Wrecker,
exactly,
Omega, Hunter, Omega, and so I love the switch it up here.
Hell,
I felt like a family when Tech breaks his leg, and I'm like, shit.
I thought he was gonna lose more than a leg. I thought we were gonna get some.
Dude, and he's like, 180 kilograms of force. I'm like, no.
I had some fucking Nemec PTSD. That was scary.
Right. Same. I'm like, oh shit.
I was like, I know it's scary now. I was like, they can get hurt in this universe. I forgot.
It was so cool, and like there were some great wide shots as they're going into the atmosphere. Like you see the whole big expansive ship, and all that cargo. And at first, Tech is like, "Okay, we'll just find an escape pod and we'll get the hell out of here."
Jettison the escape pods. Fuck.
The commander was on top of it. He was like, "Jettison."
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I was like,
pranked.
"Oh shit!" And it was just chaotic, as intense as hell. And then Omega's like smarts come in. She's like, wait, this class has has all the cargo, and the cargo should have repulsor, thrusters, exactly.
And I love, he goes, you are correct, but our time of window is closing. Like, we need to go fucking yesterday.
Your time to say that sentence is not helping.
So yeah, it was just super cool. And then they get into the cargo shuttle, and I'm thinking like, okay, they're gonna be one cargo shuttle that's gonna little tiny thing is just gonna fly off, but then the whole thing just gets ejected.
The building size.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah, I thought one of them was gonna fall off, and they're like, nah, like 50. I'm like, okay.
It was awesome.
Rain and treasure.
And then they were so smart to like put Omega like in the little like sort of airplane, little like bouncy like. It reminded me of Toy Story. There's like those little nets.
Oh yeah.
Toy Story 2, maybe. I don't know. When the airport scene.
Yeah.
TS2, yeah.
Yeah, Evan's favorite movie.
TS.
Debatable.
PlayStation 2.
The Last Jedi of Toy Story movies.
Oh God, here we go.
If you watch Bill and Ted.
But then we get the classic trope of I love it. We haven't landed yet.
Oh, yeah.
Like twice. Actually, it pays off 3 times. You know how those things happen where they fall once.
Yeah.
Tech gets hurt. Then
They're on the
Omega goes back.
Mhm.
It falls again, and then they get out. Or I can't remember how it goes. I think it falls. No, they first land, then it falls once, and then Omega goes back, and it falls, and we get the emotional scene right as it's about to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had big Jurassic Park 2.
Oh my God! Yeah, the
energy.
RV.
I thought it was like they're gonna because they eventually they get like some kind of cable
So
out
they
of
tied
the
around
ship.
the tree.
The old man's
Tied
cable.
around.
He went
Yeah.
off.
You know, I was like, oh shoot, like is it gonna fall while they're inside to get like that Jurassic Park 2 energy where they're like the RV goes like right above them into the water. And then it also felt like Uncharted 2 as they're trying to escape initially.
Yes.
You know, when Drake like wakes up on the like on the train car, he's like, oh shit, and then he has to
Oh
like,
my
run
God.
off.
Yeah.
So I felt like that too. So a lot of great like action cliches. Even recently, Mission Impossible Fallout, where he's on the cliff against Henry's character, and he's like, "Oh shit!" I just love those cliff fights. But yeah. Meanwhile, before we get to episode 2, Hunter and Wrecker made their way inside Dooku's castle, which is pretty cool. Just a really cool set design and everything. I immediately thought of the episode when the Night Sisters had to fight off Dooku.
Yeah.
When he was blind and drugged, and he still fought them off. It's one of my favorite Clone Wars sequences ever.
Yeah.
He's too powerful.
He's too good. That was amazing. I was
I can beat him. I don't know.
Asajj, like I'm rooting for Asajj, but I feel so bad for her. But then Dooku's just too boss. You're like, I don't even need my eyes. Like, fuck that.
Shit.
It's incredible. It's incredible. But yeah, Hunter and Wrecker, like, they fall back on top of Dooku's castle. The troopers follow them inside Dooku's castle. And Dooku has like a really cool, what do you even call it? Secret floor, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, hidden
Lift.
lift.
Yeah, hidden elevator lift. I was watching Star Wars Explained, and he said like he wished there was like a slide like in that one episode of the Clone Wars, where he had that slide when he was sliding away from Anakin and Obi-Wan. But yeah, it was really cool. And then they make their way to the bottom of Dooku's castle, and they this great wide shot of the bottom of the castle, and they see this huge city that's in like tatters and wreck. Just an old city from Sereno. Which again, super sad because if you listen to Dooku Jedi Lost, like they go into detail about like the marketplace in Sereno and just like the everyday people of Sereno, what it was before,
Which is just
the Clone
fucking
Wars.
wiped.
Yeah,
Which is
now
just heartbreaking that like
yeah.
for all these planets that they don't use, they're just like orbital bombardment. I think they say, and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, it just happened to Camino, it just happened to Sereno. Everywhere they go, everywhere the Empire goes, just chaos and destruction. We even saw that in Andor, like right, like what happened to not Aldhani, but Andor's first homeworld. I forget what it was called, but yeah, like the Empire comes and like presumably just like killed off a lot of people there, including presumably a sister. Empire, not a good place, not a good people. But there are heroes on both sides.
It's not a place.
So yeah, the crew immediately run into Romar, old Serenian dude, who helps them escape.
Separatist.
Separatist. Yeah, Tech just like starts beating him up. It was crazy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I love that whole challenging perspective of like,
Yeah.
yo, like I'm just a guy, like, or he says like, the war, like we existed before the war, like, which I thought was really good of like expanding the Bad Batch's perspective of yes, they were soldiers, but also they had to learn how to, consider the world outside of always a 1v1 fight, always a battle against the world. There's more to the world than just that. And Omega opened their eyes in season 1, and now there's other people doing it in season 2, which is kind of cool.
Exactly. We had the same dilemma in season 1 when Sid asked them to go. I don't even know if it was Sid. It might have been Rex who asked them to go to that Separatist homeworld. I forget what the homeworld is called now. But remember that one mission, they had to go to Separatist homeworld and rescue.
Yeah, and they assume all people are bad.
A senator, and they're like, "Oh, we can't go do that mission. The Separatists are evil." It's like, no, like they quickly realized how the Empire.
Yeah. Like the political top creates whatever narrative that they.
Exactly. The winners tell the
to.
stories, right? So it's always up to the winners. And whether you're separatist or used to be part of the Republic, those planets, they don't like, the Empire doesn't discriminate. Like if you're a separatist, you're getting bombarded. If you used to be part of the Republic like Camino, you're getting bombarded either way. So it didn't really matter. So yeah, that the whole ideology is getting tested once again in season 2, which is just so fascinating. And again, it's coming from Tech, who we didn't get much of a POV from in season 1, but he's the one who's like getting lifted up by Romar after the wreckage, and he's the one who's constantly like going back and forth with Romar, which was very interesting. So yeah, Romar wants none of the treasure. We kind of talked about it already with the blood money. Yeah. And again, Omega feels like, no, we should go back. We can still go back there. It's not even nighttime yet. We can go back there and get the war chest. And
it's honestly fine.
What could possibly go wrong? Now that they've been
smash cuts, Hunter and Wrecker being like
chased,
just like totally 40 troopers just like closing in on.
When this episode started, I like as soon as they unveiled like the riches in the chest, I was like, oh, we're probably not getting it. As I realized that, I'm like, I'm pocketing shit immediately. If in case we don't get this chest, at least we have something.
Right? Like how big? Like, if I'm part of the Bad Batch, I'm constantly carrying some kind of mini backpack.
I'm getting a knapsack. I'm getting a
knapsack.
I have pockets. I'll leave one knife behind.
By the way, Hunter's knife thing is so fucking cool every time. Every time he's out of a fight, he just right into his arm sleeve thing. I'm like, that's so cool.
He was like, yeah, they're not coming. Like it's very Rambo. It's like I don't even need weapons. Like come on.
Yeah, come at me.
It's very cool. But yeah, I want to talk about Wrecker and Hunter real quick because their sequence was again very tense. Like this Bad Batch, the show in general is very good at mixing fantastic action sequences with all these like quiet Romar, quiet ideological moments. And for Hunter and Wrecker, like they see this cool shot of like all these old separatist
tanks, right?
Tanks and war machines. It's very cool. Unfortunately, they can't none of them actually work. But Wrecker ends up like taking a battery pack from one of the old separatist tanks and using it to create a whole new weapon. He creates like a cannon, I guess he calls it.
Yeah, like one of those like nobody but Wrecker can carry.
Well, say that again.
Which just like any like big old cannon blaster like on a tank.
Oh yeah.
That no man could carry but Wrecker.
Besides Wrecker. Yeah, Wrecker's.
Yeah, and I love that Wrecker actually is pretty smart. He's like, I just need the battery pack. Like, it's fine. We've been here before.
My man has brains. He can hotwire.
Yeah, Wrecker's not an idiot. But it's funny because the whole time they've been like running, stunning. But then Wrecker gets like the whole cannon thing and just like lets you rip. I'm like, oh my
Holy
God.
shit. That trooper he shoots right as they're loading onto the... Right as they're walking up the ramp of their ship. When they finally get to the ship, he just like fucks this guy up. No, he lets off like 4 shots, like, and if you go back and rewatch it, the dude just flies.
Oh my gosh,
it's really funny.
What I liked it too is like Captain Wilco. Again, Wilco has been on them the entire time. I also think it was a good strategic choice to chase after. Because I think at the very beginning of episode 2, one of his troopers are like, okay, so we're still chasing the men in Dooku's castle, but one of the cargo ships might have landed somewhere in the forest area. And he chooses to go after Wrecker and Hunter first, which I think was a smart decision because, like, strategically, the forest is super wide open. You have no idea where they're at. Meanwhile, you know exactly where Hunter and Wrecker are. And if it wasn't for the Bad Batch being as intuitive as they are, I think his plan probably would have succeeded. Because he almost got both of them both times. And there's one cool Wilco moment where after Recco like lets you rip on a couple of soldiers, Wilco takes off his helmet and just like looks at one of his fallen men, and just like a soft, quiet moment. He's like, "Oh shit! Like my men are actually like falling down here," which I think kind of like seeds into how he feels later in the episode when Rampart's like, "Tell that you're fake what happened," kind of thing. Where he lost some soldiers here. I don't think Wrecker actually killed. He probably did kill some people. Or Wrecker,
as soon as he actually started using this cannon, because they've been shooting with stun guns.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, right, they've been stunning and shooting, but then Wrecker just like lets a rip and starts blowing people up. So he might have killed some people. I mean, actually, he did, because like there's a shot when the people are coming in on the ships, and Wrecker like aims it at the ship, and the ship goes like spiraling down and blows up like in the wreckage area. So I think Wrecker definitely killed some people along the way. But yeah, it was a very good moment for Wilco, who I think is going to grow towards the end of episode 2, even though his life is cut short. It reminded me a little bit of the Kanan comic, where somebody's like, where the chip is in there, but their camaraderie with their clones is also peeking out as well. So that was a very interesting moment for Wilco. But yeah, then we go back to Omega Tech and them. And we get that great moment where, we already talked about it, but like Romar is saying, like, this is a Serenian culture thing, not a separatist. And Tech's like, oh, like I never really understood it that way. He's like kind of seeing the difference between Serenians and separatists. There was a culture there before they became separatists, and even also separatists aren't all evil either, because you presume that Romar was also a separatist and he's helping them out. So not all people are bad. There's heroes on both sides. Villains everywhere. So yeah, it's that struggle with humanity that that Tech is going through. Trying to see what else we see here. Yeah, pretty much it. So yeah, Wrecker and Hunter get on their ship. They're on their way. Echo, while Tech is getting that great life lesson from Romar, Omega manages to slip away. Which again, we kind of already talked about the whole like kaleidoscope scene, but bears repeating. Like, she forgoes her childhood tendencies, and instead, again, focusing on that guilt, focusing on that burden, she goes back against her orders and goes back to the war chest again to feel like, oh, like I'm not much of a burden, I can do this by myself, kind of thing, which of course isn't the right way, because you can't really do things by yourself and you're not a burden to the group. So it was good stuff there. But yeah, and then Echo.
It's just good to be back in this show. I just love it.
It's so good because like the show is great at, like, which a lot of people don't take for granted, but or they take it for granted, how the show has some surprisingly good moments of depth. And this show isn't like, quick tangent, but like a lot of people, when it comes to Lucasfilm animation, they feel like every episode needs to be a big hit. Which is similar to, like, I think that's what happens in live action. Like Mandalorian, every episode there's an event. Every episode something happens. Usually, you get your 1 or 2 episodes, but usually like there's a big event that moves the plot forward for a lot of live action shows, whether it's the Mandalorian, Loki, Disney Plus in general. But Lucasfilm Animation is like, you can have these one-off adventures that still add a lot of character, that still characterize your main
Yeah,
character.
it's a great start to Omega's arc and just the overall intentions of what the plot is going to go down, or what's going to
Exactly.
happen.
And because like I don't want to call out Josh or just people who like. I mean,
No, by all means.
There's a lot of people who don't like the Bad Batch or
Yeah,
don't
there's a
really
lot of
like it,
people.
but it's fine. It's not for everybody, but in general, I just want to criticize the people that say like, "Well, nothing happened," kind of thing. Which I've heard some people say that about this episode. Like, well, nothing happened. It was fun, but not much happened. I'm like, are you insane? Like, we're 50 minutes in. We're not even done with the review yet. But like, there's so much character building that's working off this season. So much thematic elements that are going on here.
And I thought this was just a wonderful, not even a pilot, but just a great like Kickstarter to the season into, like we said, the characters, the plot. It's not going to jump immediately to the highest of the stakes, but there's still very much stakes involved in everybody's personal journey here of like deciding whether we should fight against the Empire, run from the Empire. How should we raise Omega? How should we consider ourselves criminals? Like how do we deal with all of that's in the show? And I never feel like it lets me down thematically on at least progressing it little by little on those beats every episode. And so for me, these two episodes did exactly what season 1 did in terms of thematic development, which is going to pay off like in those scenes. We're going to have an equivalent of the Crosshair proposing for them to join them scene, how satisfying that was. Those full circle moments don't work without these little thematic nuggets, one could say.
I totally agree. Yeah. I mean, Carson's spitting. And I feel the same way because Rebels. I think all of us, Rebels is one of our favorite Star Wars things in general. But it's not to say Rebels didn't have episodes like this, where it's like little character bits amongst like a so-so episode.
Some of the best scenes in Rebels are just Kanan and Ezra talking, which is just
right.
Yes, we have Ahsoka, Darth Vader, we have all this stuff going on. Some of the best moments in Rebels are just Ezra and Kanan, or Hera and Kanan, or just those quiet moments. And that's what I love about Star Wars, is when it contextually builds out those big moments to be amazing, yes, but there's equally amazing moments. So then when we get to like Kanan's death, all those collection moments are like, fuck, dude, this hurts because we've spent every moment with him, not just the plot moments.
Yeah, we grew with this family.
Yeah,
they become a family, which is a dynamic and a theme that is seen in the Bad Batch as well. Like the whole family dynamic, the whole aspect of like eventually having to join a cause. Like a lot of the themes are very similar to Rebels, which I really like. I mean, they're taking place in the same time period, so we're gonna get some parallels here. But yeah, in general, Lucasfilm Animation gives us so much time to breathe because they get more episodes and because they get more just time to not focus just on plot, which I like a lot. But yeah, quick tangent how Lucasfilm Animation is peak. Anyways, Echo realizes that Omega's gone, that she went off by herself, while at the same time, we realize Captain Wilco is now reverting all efforts to go towards the forest, towards the missing cargo thing, because at the same time, one of the troopers is like, I think one of the missing cargo ships landed in the forest here. We'll go check it out. Of course, it ends up being their missing cargo ship, which is like the plot of convenience that a lot of shows go through, but it works out. So Echo goes to save Omega, as Omega's like, oh yeah, Echo, I found it. And he's like yelling at her like, we need to go. There are troopers right above us. So it's a very cool sequence where the troopers pull up right as Echo manages to reunite with Omega down on the cliffside. I mean, Omega has like no clue what's going on, but she's like in that, not frantic, but she's just like, hey, I did what I was supposed to do. Like, you can actually go back to living your life, Echo. Because again, she feels so much guilt towards Echo specifically, because Echo was the one saying like our lives are like this because of Omega. Mm-hmm. But they have a good hashing out where Echo then says like, no, you didn't hear the other half of the sentence where I said like, we are who we are because of you, Omega, not in spite of you.
Right, not in spite of.
There's a difference.
So good.
There's a difference between we are who we are because of you than in spite of you, because like you didn't affect us in a bad way. Like you helped us grow. You helped us become who we are, which kind of goes into like the meta sense, like becoming a big fans of the show, because we used to think the Bad Batch were just like these action heroes, doing missions, and
right, the macho guys.
But then season 1 quickly reverted them to being dads, their fathers now. They're a family. So they have a whole bigger purpose.
Right, which has always been a Lucas thing with the clones to deconstruct them and make them vulnerable. And that's why that's some of the best stuff of the Clone Wars. And I think that's why I underestimated this show being as good as it is, because they really uncovered that and were able to focus on 5 core characters, and it really works.
It really works. You're so right, because they've been able to get this just so much depth from this group. And what's so interesting is season 1 had them realizing that they're on the run, that they have to be careful and care for Omega, and they formed like this big family unit. But now that they are a family, now that they are free, what do they do now? And Echo being willing to change his mind and say, you know what, I still want to join a cause, but we need to learn to let the money go. And he tells Echo to just to let it go. Again, Indiana Jones reference. And even without the money, they can still move on and progress and figure out their next steps, like what to do as a family. What should we do? Because, again, Echo isn't the only child that is being adversely affected by this war. As Echo told Hunter earlier, Omega's not the only one. Like, there are other people who are suffering, and we have the ability to do something about it. We have the responsibility. Nathan, hit me with a responsibility quote. The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, the traditional. If you have the ability to help people, you have a moral obligation to do those things. That's what's at stake here. Not choice, responsibility.
Responsibility. Spitting. And basically what he tells.
Honestly, as long.
It's great. I always love that quote. It's great because it's basically what Echo is telling Hunter, and what he then tells Omega. It's like, we have a responsibility, even though we have to care for you. We have to, you're not a burden to us. You're an assistance to us. You're part of the group now. As we saw in both episodes, she came through both times. Now that
she held her own, easy.
Yeah, she held her own. She really became a valuable part of the crew. But now they need to use all of their efforts to find a bigger purpose, which hopefully they will sooner than later. But eventually, Tech comes to help him out. We get a really cool fight sequence between Tech and some random clone trooper in the woods. Again, he's crippling, but he still manages to take out 3 troopers at the same time.
Yeah, I was like, oh, my man's barely standing. Can we help him?
I was so nervous because he's sitting behind it. It felt very Last of Us, where he's behind a tree and there's 3 people closing in on him, but he still manages to get the upper hand, which says a lot about those other clone troopers. They kind of suck. But Tech goes off, and eventually Romar eventually comes to help him out too by pulling, again, Jurassic Park 2 style, using his speeder to pull them up when he goes into reverse. And then they get saved, and then Romar refuses to go with the crew. He wants to stay home, and that's because he's a survivor, just like they were. He's kind of like a picture of who they used to be, or who they could be, in a sense. I don't know. Because he's a survivor, just like Hunter wants to be a survivor as well. But I think Romar was a good perspective to be you can be a survivor while still helping out people. Romar was still a survivor of Sereno. He was away from the fight, but he still was willing to help the Bad Batch once he realized the plight that they were in.
Totally.
Which I think could be a good perspective for Hunter and for the crew, how they could be away from the fight, but they could still help. But I think the crew.
And there's other people that need. There's other even more personally. There's other clones that need saving.
Yes.
That guy they saved in season 1. What's his name? We just watched it. The fucking. What is his name?
In the finale?
No, when they first discover the base in the mountains, it's in
It's
episode 14. I don't
Gregor.
know. Gregor. So there's other people like that. There's other people who are going to be waking up in a sense and realizing they don't want us, or this is fucked, basically. In whatever that cloning Camino secret base stuff evolves into is probably gonna pit directly against that. I don't know.
That's a great point, which kind of goes into the final scene of this episode, where because Carson's mentioning how people are waking up, and I think Captain Wilco, who again went off this episode, great job, even though it kind of ends in failure. He was reporting to Rampart saying, "I think you got your mission wrong, or your info wrong, because I saw Clone Force 99 throughout my day, basically." And Rampart's like, "That's impossible. They're dead. I blew them up myself," which kind of begs the question. So many questions here, where I'm like, so the Empire picked up Crosshair, presumably, right?
Yes.
It's been a couple months. Did Crosshair say they all died?
Well, then they leave.
I thought about that.
Did Crosshair just be like, "Hey, I was the only one who survived," or
call a taxi, or like?
Yeah, what happened there?
Because I don't know if he had comms. Like, he was just on that platform.
Well, they said they were gonna like come back to scout out the wreckage.
Yeah,
that's why they had to get out of there.
True.
Yeah,
what did he say? I guess.
Yeah, what was he?
He probably. Didn't
I guess
say
because Omega
them.
he says they considers him and Omega even, because Omega saved him. He saved Omega. That could change everything, actually.
It could be something. It could be nothing.
Yeah.
It could be like Nathan said. Maybe Crosshair didn't say anything. He wasn't a guy for words, anyways.
I can just see him like.
Man, this is gruff.
They perished.
And they perished. Yeah, exactly. So, but either way, now Rampart knows they're alive.
Which
he knows he fucked up.
For Crosshair, maybe.
Yeah, it could lead to like, hey, Crosshair, you lied, or it could be like, Crosshair, you got to finish what you started.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But also, it's interesting because Rampart, as I mentioned earlier, he had that one quiet moment with the clone that was very wounded. He kind of felt hurt by that. And then he's just been very good throughout this entire episode, even though he's going against our guys. And he says, or Rampart says to Wilco that you have to falsify the report and say you did not see Clone Force 99. Is that the dilemma, right? He says you didn't see Clone Force 99?
Yeah, Tarkin would.
Well, the dilemma
be
is like
my
if,
failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he wanted to falsify the report.
Yeah, Tarkin. He's like, Tarkin's gonna kill him. Now he's gonna kick my butt.
Yeah. So basically, they're the Bad Batch are basically the new Ghost Crew.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Wilco denies it though, which I thought was very interesting, because I think under Order 66, you don't just flat out say no to your commanding officer, which is why it begs the question: was Wilco's chip slowly, going away by the end of this episode?
Which I could see being a plot point of like, for whatever reason, they're sort of old tech in a sense of like doubling down on the point that they're no longer needed and whatever. They're quite literally decaying as they're being, phased out. Could be interesting.
Yeah, they're getting phased out. We saw that was a big plot point in season 1. I could see that being an even bigger thing in season 2 as more and more clones.
Like, you fought in the war. The war is over. You were designed with a shelf life. How fucking morally tough is that? You had a shelf life. You were not designed to live a human life. You had a shelf life of war and X amount of years. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is
you're not a
crazy
person.
to
You're a
think about.
product. They bring out Don Carlo from the books.
You're a product.
You're a bad product.
That's the best mic drop line ever, man.
It's great. What a great villain.
I miss
What a
the
great
boys.
character.
I can't wait for season 4.
Can we get that John Carlo and stuff?
I've been watching.
Moff Gideon has to rise from the ashes. You
Like
wait.
a phoenix,
what?
baby.
What
Phoenix, baby.
What ashes? Who are you?
Who are you people?
Who are you? Too funny.
Too great.
But yeah, I think that'd be an interesting plot point and could sort of. I want to see it, like somewhat of a large scale rebellion of like a whole group of clones, and then they have to like save them basically, and then maybe the clones establish their own like network. I mean, we already see like obviously Rex needs help, like you know what I mean, and like they could become like, like obviously like we had Cal like in Fallen Order, like has a very specific purpose having to do with the Jedi. The clones, there's still a lot of clones out there, and that could be an established network, and they could find purpose in that.
I fully agree. Again, I'll be forever upset that we didn't get the Stormtrooper Rebellion in Tross.
Right.
But we could get a good Clone Trooper Rebellion in Season 2 of Bad Batch. That would come full circle with joining a cause related to them, the whole family aspect. It would be great if you can get a good end of the Clone Troopers kind of farewell. Because we do know it kind of ends in tragedy. But if we could save just a couple clones to scatter across the world, so I would love that. And with that whole mysterious cloning mission that we see in the mountains, or that one random planet at the end of Season 1, anything's possible. I would love that. But yeah, unfortunately, Wilco gets shot in the head. We don't get to see if it's ship.
Dude, that wide shot. I'm telling you, the wide shots in this fucking show. You literally see him. He's falling. Just.
It was so sad. We mentioned it in our finale for our commentary Tuesday, but I really want Ramparts just to be like, I want that stoic look to go away. I want him to face his
When does he become fucking fearful of something?
Yeah, come on. I want somebody to put a knife to his throat and be like, ah, like,
yeah. That's the best part about these like sleazy Empire villains is watching them break.
Yeah.
Even somebody like Thrawn, like when he gets like outsmarted, the rare times that he does.
He's like, Nani?
Yeah, like you just.
Oh no.
It's quite literally like, what is this? Like. So I'm excited to see. I mean, seemingly he's going to have a bigger role this season. We saw him obviously at the end of last season. Then he's already in these first 2 episodes. So very excited to see where that goes. And of course, the flip side of him having to answer to Tarkin and everybody else, and eventually Palpatine.
Do we see him putting a lot of the effort onto Commander Cody and Crosshair? Could he like do 2 birds, 1 stone, where he's just like, let's have Cody, Crosshair, and the other remaining clones continue to go after 99, Clone Force 99, and if they kill each other, good. Less clone for me. That kind of thing.
Damn.
I would love it to. I don't know where this is going, but like, it'd be cool if they had sort of this squad run like covert missions for the rebellion. I don't know how that would work. How that would necessarily play into canon, but I think it's like dug enough of a pocket in the universe where sort of like, okay, these characters are sort of in the same bubble and they're doing their thing over here, that it would work.
I think definitely like towards the
we'll see.
Second half of the season, I think that's possible. Like as they get closer and closer to the rebels, as Rex fills them in.
Because I think they ultimately will stay in the fight and want to see a better tomorrow for Omega, whatever that is, wherever Omega actually ends up. Maybe Omega has a different path by the end of this. I don't know. Where she steps up and has her own opinion on things. And it's like, I feel most valued and I feel like I could do the best job here. I feel like I'm my best self over here. It'd be very interesting if she grew out of them and became on her own path.
Oh man,
which is sad, but that's what happens when you have a kid. That's what happens when you have a kid. They grow.
You have a kid, Carson?
No, my cats.
Your cats are growing.
They are what they grow beyond. I don't fucking know.
Maybe they'll be pinned down, and Ahsoka will come in and then take them.
No.
Stop.
No. No.
Omega. Oh god.
Let's train. You're force sensitive. No.
Oh no.
That'd be bad. That'd be bad, Bob. But yeah, that's kind of like the end of the episode. And yeah, I mean, we kind of already been talking about it, but that kind of teased up a lot of what we're going to see in season 2 with Rampart now realizing that 99's alive. What do they do now? Like, I think Rex is a good call, but I think we're in for more. Not more.
Yeah, Palpatine's
cameos.
I think it's gonna escalate to Palpatine putting out the fucking hit on these guys.
But it has to be major, like for 99 to be on the target of the Emperor. Just 5
Yeah, they're
people,
gonna
like,
hit. They're gonna hit something.
Something big.
Like
Something big.
the reason Palpatine got so invested in the Rebels crew was because Ezra was a Jedi, and he's like, "Oh, this guy has to go."
There's a second inhibitor chip.
Possibly.
That's possible.
Order 68.
Fuck. Order 99. Oh no.
Damn. But yeah, the rest of season 2, we have 14 episodes to go.
Which I love. I love that. Really, anime and animation are the only space left collectively today that can have 16 to 24 episode seasons and have, very elongated character arcs and character change over a season. Of course, that still happens in every other show, but we have so many limited series these days and so many 10 episode shows that it's always refreshing to have something to look forward to like every week for like 4 months, which I love.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be hit with a lot of Star Wars this year. Mandalorian and Bad Batch are gonna be airing side by side in just 2 months.
For March, yeah.
All of March.
Initially, I thought the only other 2 episode premiere, or like same day 2 episodes would be the finale, but there's one like in the middle of the season too.
Yeah. I think episode 7 and 8. I think.
Yeah, combined. Yep.
1 and 2, 7 and 8, and then 15, 16.
What are
Crazy.
they cooking?
What are they cooking? Clone Trooper Rebellion, please. That's pretty much it for Bad Batch. I wanted to quickly talk about. Did you guys see the rumor this morning about the Star Wars game?
No, but go off. Explain.
I'll go off. I'll cook. I'll stop it. But it's funny because I think this comes from a rumor from Ubisoft massive Star Wars game. And interestingly enough, earlier this week, they also tweeted out how, welcome to 2023. We have a lot to share this year about our upcoming Star Wars game. So I think their game is, again, sorry to use it again, cooking. But I think they have a lot to share. And just this morning, Insider Gaming reported what we're going to be seeing in Ubisoft Massive's Star Wars game. And they say it will indeed be massive and open world. So
that's something we heard about before, right? That it's just we knew it was happening. Yeah.
Ubisoft said they were making a Star Wars game. We just didn't know anything else besides that. We kind of assumed because it's Ubisoft that it was going to be open world. Ubisoft is known for the Tom Clancy properties like Division, open world, Far Cry, open world. Even though that's Ubisoft Montreal. But anyways,
Assassin's Creed.
They do Assassin's Creed, of course. Yeah. Which kind of put them on the map, among other things. So yeah, Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, other things like all open world. So they say, Insider Gaming reports, quote, in this game, players will be able to jump between systems, immersing themselves in a vast galaxy bursting at the seams with activities. At the heart of the game sits an in-depth, lengthy story driven fully by a customizable character that walks a path chosen by the gamer. There are decades worth of lore, locations, weapons, and characters for Ubisoft and Massive Entertainment to draw from, so the game itself should be something special. And that's what we got. Again, explorations, changing between galaxies, character customization.
It feels like just Fallen Order, but like opened up,
Big time. And of course, Ubisoft is also known for their monetized DLC. What do they call it? Live service, in a way. Most studios like to say these days. Live service basically means we're going to keep it in. We're not going to cancel. We're not going to stop working on the game after we release it. So because it's open world, we're going to continue to deliver DLC, whether that's cosmetics or more missions or new space in the game. They're going to continue to add stuff. It's going to cost money, but they're going to continue to add stuff to the game. But yeah, this is all very interesting. I would love this. I mean, given the scope of this report, it sounds like this is going to come out 2025, the very earliest. But I'm excited. Like, Star Wars gaming has a lot incoming. Of course, there's that Fallen Order. EA still has 2 other games besides Fallen Order. They have that first-person shooter game coming out, and they have a strategy game coming out, and a Jones project in the works too. So yeah, Star Wars games. Oh, and that Revan remake. What was it called? Old Republic
there's
remake.
a lot
Still coming out. So, and remember, we reported about it last year. How I don't know who was reporting about it, but somewhere in Star Wars realm, they want a Star Wars game at least every year, starting with Jedi Survivor. So, yeah, last year we got Lego Star Wars. This year we get Jedi Survivor. Maybe next year we get
A mobile game,
probably. But yeah, exciting stuff. So again, I would love to just do customizable characters in Star Wars. I don't care about, is this going to be canon? I don't really care at all. It's like,
I didn't even get that in Lego Star Wars.
Exactly. Well, Lego is different because it's Lego.
But a customizable character.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, we didn't even get that. That's crazy.
No weirdo in my back to tank.
I'm still baffled. Lego Star Wars, one of the biggest games, Star Wars games. It's a huge game. Don't get me wrong, but they don't give us the opportunity to customize characters or to go on more missions or to play with other people. Baffling.
Right.
Baffling. Yeah, in general, Ubisoft has a lot more to share. I think we'll get some more official stuff later this year. This is the year that we finally get E3 back. E3 is coming back in 2023. A lot of good reveals this summer regarding, Star Wars. There's a new Spider-Man game, so you can bet your ass Spider-Man's going to be at E3 this year. Great shit. Great stuff. That's pretty much it, though. Bad Batch, new Star Wars game stuff. Before we end, I'm almost finished. I'm on part 6 of the Battle of Jeddah audiobook.
Oh.
And I'm really liking it.
How is it? I saw you freaking out. Someone died, I know, but I don't know who.
No, somebody didn't die. I was scared somebody.
Well,
there has been some deaths, but the character I was really worried about did not end up dying. Carson,
but it scared you.
The I don't want to spoil, but if you've read Fallen Star, which Carson you have, said creature isn't playing around. I'll just say that. So yeah, that creature, I hate it with my life. It's not good, Bob. So yeah, that creature's been doing work in this book, or in this audio drama. So yeah, there's a lot of death. I think I'm really liking the character work. The main character is Creighton's son, who was a main character in Star Wars Convergence. Even though Gela Natai was the main character, Creighton was kind of like the Jedi that she was working with in that book. He didn't get a lot of characterization, but he was a main figure in Convergence, and he gets a lot of good character work in this book as well. He's, of course, aided by this other female Jedi called Ada Forte, who is also introduced in Convergence. She's really good. We also get voices for Marta Rowe, one of my all-time favorite new High Republic characters from Path of Deceit. Marta is a fantastic character. Her arc in Path of Deceit is amazing, and she continues to be a very interesting character, Marta Rowe. I love her.
Love her, Knives Out.
Love her and Knives Out.
Can't wait to finally read.
Yeah.
Path of Deceit. And
Path of Deceit's peak. It's peak. You'll love it, Carson. Marta Rowe. We don't see much of Yana Rowe, which is, of course, her sister. They are the only 2 Rows right now that we know of in Phase 2. The mother character is here, and she's from Path of Deceit. I do not like her. I love to hate her. From Path of Deceit. But also we also get trying to say not any spoilers. We also introduced my favorite character in the book is crap. What's her name? I'm losing it. She from Quest from the Hidden City. Salandra Show. Salandra Show. If you guys remember from the a panel at Celebration, she's a Jedi with the shield. She uses her shield as a weapon.
Yes, I'm looking at this article right now.
Salandra Show is just fantastic. She's badass. She's very caring. She's very kind, but she can be a badass, of course. She was introduced in, again, the kids' novel Quest for the Hidden City, which
I think she's on this cover of High Republic Adventures too. I could be wrong.
Oh, sweet! I would love that. See more in action. Look it up for me. Because Salandra just had some all-star moments in this.
Does she have a purple lightsaber?
No.
This is someone else.
That's Gela. What does she look like?
You. I'll share my screen.
Share the screen, baby. Salandra Show with the shield is really cool. But beyond that, I love how I love how it continues the plot of Quest for the Hidden City. Oh no, that's Daniel's character. That's
okay.
That's
because they have this cool chronological order reading guide now, and I was just looking at it.
Yeah, Quest for the Hidden City. That's the one that introduces Salandra. That's Rupert, Salandra's Padawan. She's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
She wields 2 lightsabers. Salandra loves her Padawan. After the sea, that's Kevmo. That's Marta. That's Mother in the middle.
I love that white dress robe thing.
It's great. All the Path of the Open Hand, they all wear that dress. That's Gela, one of my other favorite Jedi. She's great. And that's Sivmo. I forget. She was introduced in the. She was introduced in the the
November 30th.
But
she was.
She's a kid version of the person that we met.
Yeah. I know.
I still don't know who the person in the back is. I assume that's the mother, but she hasn't been introduced in the.
Have you read this one?
Yeah. I'm caught up.
One.
I'm caught up. 1 and 2 came out so far. The Blade has come
came out on my birthday.
Happy birthday, cousin.
This just came out.
That's Creighton on the left right there. And that's Ada Forte. She's on the right there. Both fantastic. They're going through it in this battle. Really good stuff. And if you want the scripted version that comes out February 14th, Valentine's Day. Quest of the Jedi
still can't wait for this.
Has gotten delayed. I think it's
March 1st.
I think it's still coming into March, but it might have gotten delayed to June or April. I'm not sure. Quest for Planet X is the sequel to Quest for the Hidden City.
April 4th.
In April.
There's so much. I'm just
Nameless Terror.
All this.
Now
this is still April.
Cataclysm has jumped up to be like my most
anticipated. It's the second adult novel, right?
That's Axel Greylark, who is an all-time Star Wars favorite. Axel Greylark, great character, good romance. Path of Vengeance in the middle there.
This shit looks peak.
That is, I'm assuming that's Marta Rowe. That has to be Marta. But what's she cooking? What
are all these symbols and shit?
Where's the mother? For those, again, Carson, I'm begging you to read Path of Deceit because, man, Marta is great in that book. That comes out with my birthday, right?
Can't wait.
May 4th? I say May 4th?
May 2nd.
May 2nd. Oh.
Basically.
Early birthday.
Early birthday present. But yeah, Cavan, and knowing how Cavan does horror and
I'm fucking ready. I need it.
It's gonna be great. And of course, you can see like the name list, like the leveler and stuff like that background. Oh my gosh!
Still the coolest concept. I can't wait. Which I'm assuming it's all gonna tie in by the time we get to the end of Phase 2.
Yeah, because Marta's Markion's great grandma. I think great grandma, because they do live for a little bit longer than most species. But overall, Battle of Jeddah is really good. My main criticism, though, is because it's a battle, there's a lot of action, and I think what this audio drama needs is battle narration. For example, we'll hear a lot of like pew 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 pew, and
right. It's more of a play. It's
and I'm like, what are they deflecting? Are they getting injured? What's happening? I hear ships coming down, but did the Jedi pull the ship down? And I'm getting the context after, like if somebody gets hit, I realize like, oh, another character be like, oh, Salandra, you're hit.
Yeah, it's
And
a
I'm
different
like,
flow.
oh.
Yeah,
But I need battle narration. Like I think because I didn't have this feeling when I was listening to
Dooku.
or even Tempest Runner. For some reason, I'm having this trouble just with the battle choreography. Like, there's a Jedi battling some other dude, and they get thrown on the floor. I'm like, how are you losing? Right? Because I'm trying to picture the battle. I'm like, how are you losing? You're a Jedi, but I don't know the concept of the battle, and I just need somebody to be like, oh, Salandra defended or blocked a strike, got kicked in the gut, like something like that. Like, I don't care. It might take some people out, but I kind of like it when we get like battle narration in books.
Yeah,
but that's just me.
it's a different medium.
Otherwise, I'm really liking the audio drama and the sound effects are great. The voice cast is really cool. Really good work here. And again, I used to because in Tempest Runner, we were introduced to Markion's voice actor. I did not like it very well. But in this, we're introduced to Marta's voice actress, and I really like her. I like Salandra's voice actress as well. Creighton, like these actors feel like the characters that I've been reading in Phase 2 thus far. I'm not really taken out like I was in Tempest Runner. But that's about it. Yeah, I've been catching up with Star Wars comics. Dr. Aphra is gay as hell, and I love it. It's fantastic. Something happened to her, and like her exes are coming to save the day. And I'm like, this is fiction. Dr. Aphra is so good. But yeah, I'm just enjoying Star Wars. And if you're not watching Willow, I plead people to watch Willow. I'm begging for it to get a season 2 every day because it's like my favorite show.
I'll put it on loop on my TV right now for you.
Please. Nathan, go on Disney Plus right now.
The finale comes out next week, right? So
next week, which sucks because I'm going to work next week, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to mute the because I started following so many Willow people on Twitter now. I'm like, now I have to mute my
all your shit,
all my shit, because I'm gonna be at work till like 3:00, and then I'm gonna come home and rush to watch it. So, anyways, that's my life. This is the life. That's about it.
Carson, where can I find you?
Trying to sleep, and yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna see any movies this weekend.
No Megan?
Maybe Megan. Kelly doesn't want to see Megan. Kelly did say she wants to see Puss in Boots though.
It's peak.
So we might go see that.
Go see Puss in Boots.
And also, just winter anime starts this weekend for the most part.
Oh yeah.
I got stuff on my list that I want to watch, so that will be fun. And then yeah, that's about it. Started school back up yesterday, so that sucks. But here we are.
More reports.
That's the report of the day. Report cards. You get report cards in college?
Yeah.
But you don't have to show your parents, just for you.
Yeah.
Correct.
Isn't that just a login?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, we didn't.
Physical media is dying. We need.
You don't get paper report cards in college.
Yeah, you just go to an unofficial transcript PDF, basically.
Exactly.
And boom, there it is.
There it is. Boom. You looking for this?
The one MCU quote you will stick with.
Love me some roadie content.
Emmy Award nominee Don.
Best supporting actor.
How did that happen?
Will you get nominated for Secret Invasion?
The first year of Disney Plus had people acting up. They were like Falcon Winter Soldier.
All three of the shows.
I'm like, how are any of these shows Emmy? I love WandaVision. WandaVision was deserved. But the other shows, I'm like, why is this even a consideration?
Even your precious Loki.
Loki should have got nominated, but I think they went with WandaVision instead.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think it was
WandaVision was the first one out, so I guess that makes sense. Anyways, you guys can find me on Twitter at Harris EV9. I'll be finishing up Battle of Jeddah tonight, so I might tweet out my reaction. Well, I'm reading Dr. Aphra again, so that's always been great. As Carson said, winter anime is starting up soon. My top 3 are Vinland Saga Season 2, Spy Classroom Season 1, and I'm looking Nier Automata.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch Nier Automata, and then this Kana of the Great Snow Sea. It's like this post-apocalyptic thing where a great snowstorm basically like took out the entire world, and then it lived like in this like I don't know. It gave me Made in Abyss vibe, so I'm like I'm in.
Oh wow, tell me about it. See how it goes. I still have to check out what's the one anime you watched last year that I never got? Sabuki Bisco. I never got to that one.
Yes, it's so good.
Get to that.
It's so fun.
But yeah, winter anime started. I'm excited. Vinland Saga has me the most hype.
I got to catch up on Vinland Saga.
Blue Lock is back.
I'm my god, second selection.
Isagi versus Rin. I'm like, wait,
they're getting. By the way, they're getting completely fucked in this first match. They are getting their asses whooped.
But they have Nagi on their team. I'm like, Nagi's really
true.
Good. How are they just gonna lose?
Number 1, they got top 3 players though.
That's why
top 3.
I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm excited as hell. My Hero is gonna be all about like we just
aftermath. Finally,
you watched the end, right?
Yeah, I'm caught up.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all aftermath. It's like fuck, we got our ass kicked on both sides at least.
I saw the promotional still of Ochaka just like fucking bloodied up. I'm like, oh no, man, don't do this to me. So much blood.
Yeah. This first part is like so much fights. The second part's gonna be like, fuck.
Midoriya's gonna be in a goddamn stretcher for like 8 episodes.
Oh no!
Yeah,
dude is wrecked.
What happened to my son?
Everything.
My boy.
Imagine like when he like flicks his little fingers and hurts those in early seasons.
Just all his whole body.
It's like just all of it.
Yeah.
He made it, baby. He hit to the peak.
Yeah,
then probably not.
Nathan, you have no idea.
He's a true hero. True hero.
A true hero.
If only Nathan had that Crunchyroll app. I wonder. Hey.
He did have it, and then he didn't watch anything.
Nothing for a whole month.
I accidentally got renewed, so now I have it. So now I have to.
God damn.
How much was that? Like $9.99?
It's $9.99.
Yeah.
Same thing happened on my PlayStation. I was like, no, support, give it back. And after taking an hour to connect to an agent, they did.
Nice.
So wait, not though.
Yeah. Ben. I bet Ben's got 15 animes lined up.
Yeah, Ben watched way more than me. I'm watching like 3 new ones on top of the new. On top of the older reruns. But
I'm watching that. Oh, Kelly and I are gonna watch that Buddy Daddies one. That's basically Spy X.
Oh, you're watching that?
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. It's gonna be so fun.
Tell me how that goes. That looks fun. There's that one anime where dude turns into a dog.
Oh, sorry, Ben. Ben only has 11 lined up.
11 lined up.
Let's go.
Oh, only 11. That's crazy. 11 new ones or like returning like Blue Look as well, Ben. Man, that's crazy. Anyways, Nathan, where can they find you?
You can't.
Oh.
Disappears into the blue screen.
Dude, that was a great gag. No, but you can follow me primarily at _TimeBlazer. Because that's a show, making it. I am both like working on it and also procrastinating because while I should be drawing frames for the show, I'm drawing the title cards of the episodes for season 1. I like the look of them. They're really fun. They're really cool. I like them.
That's really cool.
Maybe I should do a poster in that style. But yeah, basically, a funny little thing happened the other night is me and Evan were playing Uno, and he was like, "Ah, man, why am I even here if I'm not here for the Time Blazer scoops?" And I was like, I mean, well, now you've tempted me. now you've piqued my interview curiosity because I'm a press whore. So naturally he opened Pandora's box and I gave so much, not necessarily as like story beat wise, but I was just like, here's all the, like, I've been like teasing forever, like non-human creatures and characters. And I was just like, here's all of them. Evan, what did you think of them?
They were great. Great designed. I love the weapons. I love the figures and the the clothes, the designs, and especially what they mean for like the season 1.
Oh
I
yeah.
liked it a lot. Very
Yeah.
creative.
I was like world building like on the fly. I feel like it's times like when you asked the question, I was like, oh, I guess it would be like this. Oh, that could work. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, you know what? And that kept building up. And it's not like something that's like gonna be like the absolute forefront, but it is important to have
Yeah.
these details locked. Super cool. Debut them during the trailer. Not all of them, but a hefty bit. Be cool. Trailer's coming. It's coming. It's coming. So yeah, please follow me there. Very excited to debut that. But yeah, we're back, a new year of Hyperspace Hype. We did 20 last year. Our goal is to hit how many this year?
We did 21 last year. We're going to do
21.
22.
22, right. Which, can we do a little more? Can we hit 100, episode 100 this year?
No.
We're at 81. Yeah, we definitely got to get to episode
Oh yeah,
100.
we'll hit it.
We'll definitely
We're
hit it. We'll
fine.
definitely hit it.
Yeah, we
for
got
sure,
too
for
many
sure.
shows to review,
Maybe
unfortunately.
Ahsoka, Bad Batch, Mandalorian, and Skeleton Crew, and Visions. Come on.
I think this will be the 3-year anniversary in November.
Fuck, that's crazy.
So if we can hit 100,
Hey Nathan, where are those Mando season 1 lost episodes?
The Lost Files.
sorry, you cut out there. But if you enjoyed our episodes, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if not already, ring that bell so you don't miss any future episodes. It's a big year. It's a big year. It's a big galaxy. It's a big Mando season 3. We will see what happens. But yeah, with that being said, I don't know if I left those episodes up the first few. Oh no, I never uploaded them. What's the point?
I was kidding. Yeah.
I thought they were just live streams. There are live streams with the one is up. Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna leave it here. That being said, hope you guys have a great night, have a great day, wherever you are. May the force be with you always.
'Tis the season.